Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. This is episode 351, as well as day 351 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame, and to run 2 major races within this yearly time frame as well. One of those races being a 50K ultra marathon trail race. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race out in Middleville, Michigan on day 156 of my journey. I was able to finish that 31-mile race within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. Now, the next race that came up within this yearly time frame of me challenging myself to run every single day this year was the Detroit Free Press Marathon. That was on day 290 of my journey. And I was able to finish that 26.2 mile race within 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 28 seconds. Both those races were personal records for me. 50K, first one I've ever done. Was really excited about one finishing, two, the time. Had expected to do a quicker time, but 7 hours, 15 minutes, 22 seconds is what I got. Happy with it. Looking to go back in here in 2022 for another 50K to try to improve on that time. Marathon was my first official marathon I've ever ran, so that was my personal record for me as well. One, just to be able to run it across an official marathon finish line. Was able to do it in sub 4, which is what I was actually shooting for. But it was my second actual marathon I've ever ran. I did run one with my buddy Joe last year in 2020. I think I was right around 5 hours and 22 minutes, so I was able to shave, about an hour and 25 minutes off of my first marathon time. That wasn't an official one, but so I was very excited and stoked about being able to really cut that time off and be able to finish under 4 hours. So that was on day 290 of my journey, and now we're sitting here on day 351, so streak has still been kept. Both those races have been finished. Now let's kind of break down the mileage. So for the day today, day 351, got out there, kept it short and sweet. Had expected to do a little bit more today, but just didn't get out there in a good enough time to really put in more. So I think I'm going to add a little bit more onto tomorrow's and onto Sundays. But for the day today, 1.5 miles. That put me at 12.5 miles for the week, which put me at 50.1 miles for the month, which put me at 1,625.5 miles for the year. Now I want to focus in on these yearly miles real quick, because we are 125.5 miles over the actual yearly goal of 1,500. It was originally set at 1,250 for the goal, but somewhere within the middle of the year I realized I was going to be surpassing that sooner than later, so I bumped it up to 1,500. We have surpassed that. Didn't want to bump it up to an official number after crossing the 1,500 mile mark, because kind of came up with a foot issue. So not trying to overdo it, but just trying to see where we're going to end up here towards the end of the year. I'd really like to get right around 1,700, but we'll probably end up somewhere in the 1,600s for the year, which is still great. I'm very stoked about that. But again, we are over the 1,500 mile mark for the year, so that is also, again, very exciting. But now we're going to focus in on these monthly miles of 50.1. Every single month I've challenged myself to run a 100-mile challenge, and I have done so building up to this month. And I do those challenges in honor of a charity throughout those months in which I donated money to, as well as try to raise money and awareness for by starting a coinciding fundraiser. This month is no different. It is the month of December, and we're raising money for yet another great charity here in the month of December during the 100-mile challenge. It is in honor of St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you'd like to donate to this month's fundraiser and charity as you follow along with me running the 100-mile challenge, You can do so by clicking on the link within the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story. You could also find that within my personal page's Instagram story and my personal page's Facebook story. Like I said, all you do is click on the link. It'll open up the actual page where you are able to make your donations. All donations that do get made to this cause and fundraiser go directly to this cause and fundraiser. Facebook is not taking any percentage or portion, even though they're the middleman within this transaction. I do know times are tough and not everyone can afford to donate, but would still like to help out, or maybe you donated and want to help out more. The next thing you can do, if that is the case, is click on that share button. We're raising awareness as well for this cause this month, and the best way to do that is get as many eyes on it as possible. And to do that, you got to put it on your page or put it on your story. So click on that share button, get your donations in. This month's fundraiser is a great one. It is St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Now, other than that, let's kind of get ready to get into today's actual episode 351. But right before, we're going to talk about today's word of the day. Today's word of the day is venerate. Venerate means to feel or show deep respect and honor for someone or something. So that is today's word of the day, venerate. Good word of the day for December 17th, 2021. Now let's get into today's actual episode 351, day 351. This is one I wanted to touch on, and I'm going to touch on because it has a current, which most of my episodes have a current theme to them, or I can't even think because of this episode. Okay, so episode 351, we're just going to get into it instead of me trying to figure out what word I'm looking for. 351, day 351, today's theme is sleep. Because sleep is so important. We need so much sleep in order to really recover and to be on our best ability and be able to be quick on our feet and be witty, which I am lacking with the lack of sleep I've been getting. And it's as important as it is, and as important as I know I need to get as much sleep, it's not always as easy. It's easier said than done. And I'm not complaining. I every minute I lose of sleep is worth it. Most of the sleep I'm losing as of late is with the baby teething, being up, waking me up, and just kind of being keeping me up all night and not getting much sleep, and then getting up early on days like this for early days at work. It catches up to you, putting in lots of running and still trying to get multiple things done throughout the day. The lack of sleep will catch up. So sleep is very, very important. And to try to get as much of it is just as important. And it's something that, again, I haven't really been focusing on as of late. But I do know when I get a good night's rest, especially after a long, hard day, I can just wake up and feel refreshed. And I've noticed even, ironically, running really, really long days, some of these races that I ran, even, the marathon, I got a good night's sleep after the marathon. The next day, I actually felt pretty good, despite running the marathon. I felt like the rest I had gotten was good enough to kind of recover me, not obviously fully. I was still sore as hell, but I felt pretty good. And but there's also been days throughout the year where prime example, yesterday, just put a mile and a half in, but just didn't get a good night's sleep. Was kind of up throughout the night, and got up this morning, had to be up early, just kind of was tired throughout the day, and just didn't really feel recovered. Just kind of was dragging throughout the whole entire day. So sleep is something that's very, very important. Like I said, it truly helps with the recovery process. So thinking even back to previous years it was something I always tried to avoid doing. I always tried to stay up all night, pull all-nighters, and I avoided as much sleep as I could. I would get off an actual sleep schedule, and it tied into so many things throughout my life that I never really wanted to attribute it to, um, you know, my mental health and all of that, of trying to, fight sleep, stay up all night, not getting any sunlight, not having a schedule, a sleep schedule. All these things are so key and important. And within these past few years, really working on staying on a good sleep schedule, and, trying to get as much sleep as possible, not pulling all nighters, not worrying about having, partying all night, and putting, my sleep second. So kind of flip flopping over these past few years has really done wonders for me, especially, like I said, my mental health. So sleep is very, very important. It's very key, and it's something that I think we all need to truly focus and work on, because I think a lot of us aren't getting enough sleep. A lot of us aren't recovering enough. A lot of us, some of us have even trouble falling asleep, and I think a lot of that has to deal with a lot of the technology we're using nowadays. The lights, the phones. Um, a lot of us eat before bed, so there's a lot of different aspects to sleeping that I can go down and do a deep dive into. Like I said, eating, that's another thing. I used to do a lot of eating before bed, and that didn't help me sleep. So I've been trying to cutting out the eating before bed, trying to cut out going on the phone so much and getting in front of screens, trying to just relax. And one thing I had started doing that really helped out a lot was reading before bed, but that kind of fell to the wayside. But I think I'm going to really try to pick it back up. Now that we're kind of closing this year out, 2021, one of my goals was to be reading a lot more this year, and I kind of really fell off that, but sticked on to the running and doing these episodes and all of that. So was able to kind of still follow through with a lot of my goals, but the reading kind of fell to the wayside, and I really want to pick that up, I think, going into 2022, because again, that also helped with my sleep schedule. It helped me become a lot more tired at the end of the night, to fall asleep easier, and I just felt like I would get a lot better sleep as well, as opposed to watching TV before bed. So just trying to focus on my sleep is something that I'm currently doing, and it's something that I think, again, like most of these episodes, it's a process that I'm gonna have to continue to currently do, and just continuously work on. Just because I can get enough rest today, tomorrow doesn't mean that tomorrow I can just put it off and put it off more. So it's a continuous battle of trying to really maintain a good enough sleep to recover and to feel better, and to really get a good sleep schedule going as well, for your mental health, and staying on it. So that's something I've been trying to focus in on. So for your daily discipline today, day 351, it is to do that exact thing. To one, get a good, nice sleep schedule, and to figure out and get some good sleep. Rest up, recuperate for the next day. Cut out the blue light. Maybe start reading. You know how much sleep you're getting. You know how groggy and crappy you feel when you don't get enough sleep. So really try to focus in on getting a good night's sleep. That is the daily discipline for the day today. Wake up feeling refreshed, and work on it every single day. Work on getting to bed at a good time, waking up at a good time, and it will do wonders for your actual mental health. I promise you that. Um, Other than that, thank you guys so much for listening. Day 351. I myself am dead tired, so I'm going to get this uploaded and get some sleep myself. That is kind of why that was today's theme, because I have been brain farting. I've noticed over the past few weeks, just can't even think of people's names, can't think of basic words I'm looking for in the back of my mind. I'm just kind of brain fart really bad. So I've been doing that, and I think it's just the lack of sleep really catching up. So I'm going to be trying to do some catch up on some sleep as much as possible. I do know, like I said, it's going to be hard with the baby, but getting every little ounce of sleep I can get is going to help. So day 351 officially in the books. Gonna go get myself some sleep. So if you guys can, give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Facebook, our TikTok, our Instagram, our YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you're listening and following along on. This is the Defining Discipline podcast, and I am your host, Scott. This was episode 351. It was about sleep. If you guys can, like I said, give us a like, a share, and a subscribe, but also get your donations in for this month's fundraiser. Get your daily discipline done. And other than that, stay disciplined, and I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 352. And until then, peace out.